you prefer. And welcome. Today, we're here to talk about. I'm wondering, would I get demonetized for this shirt? I don't even know. I've had this sitting in my closet. My girlfriend brought it a while back. I've had this sitting in my closet for a while, and I really want to try it on. There you go. Um, Essentially today, as soon as my head gets in the frame, there we go. Uh, Today, I wanted to talk about sleep paralysis and shit people see on sleep paralysis, personal experiences that I have had with it or have had other people dealing with it. Now, fortunately, as I hold the counter over here, your brave and illustrious host has never suffered from sleep paralysis. Never in my life. Never had it. I've had things in dreams where I scream and nothing comes out, but I've never been awake for that. It has always been in a dream or some type of other um, chemically induced slumbering state. However, I know a lot of fucking people that suffer from it, and I always happen to be around when they're suffering from it. For instance, I have a friend, let's call him Theodore. And Theodore, I was over his house one day. I forgot what we were doing. I think we were working out, going to the YMCA. I was staying over his house for like a month. And he was sleeping on the couch. And as he's sleeping on the couch, I noticed him just staring off into space. Just not moving. And I see like his hand is like he's not moving, but he's trying to move. It looks like he's trying to move. And he's just staring off into space, but he's just. And I'm like, Teddy, you alright? Walk up and he's just not doing anything. I'm like, hello? And he's just staring off into space. So at this point, I don't think, anything's wrong. I think average friend mentality. Oh, he's fucking with me. He's trying to creep me out, right? No, I go up to him, I hit him, and I'm like, cut that shit out. And I hit him. And he goes up and he goes, he's like, thank you. I'm like, what? Like, I couldn't move. He's like, there was fucking shadows and shit in the room. I'm like, oh, you poor soul. Well, glad I slapped you then. So that was one of the first times. Second time was my girlfriend. And mind you, these are 3 stories. First one's about Theodore. The other 2 are about my girlfriend. She's got really bad sleep anxiety. The 2 worst times. The first time creeped me out. The second time, not so much. First time it creeped me out. We were in the Poconos. We were hanging out. We had our own room. She went to bed. And she goes to sleep and I'm bullshitting around on my phone. And I'm looking over at the TV and I'm like, do I want to put that on? Do I want to? And she's rolling around. She has trouble sleeping. She wakes up like 3 times a night. She turns over and she goes, the guy there. And I'm like, what do you mean the guy there? Now, mind you, if you've ever been in a room with somebody and they talk in their sleep, sometimes you're lucky if they talk in complete sentences. Normally, they just say whatever they're thinking in their head or in their dream at the time, I guess. She turns over and she goes, the guy there. I'm like, what guy there? And she basically sits up, like on one arm, and just goes, there was a guy in a hat standing right beside the bed. I go, what? You fucking what now? And she's like, yeah, there was a guy in a hat. He was standing right beside you. I'm like, no, he wasn't, because I've been awake this whole time, and I was staring at that fucking television the entire time. So I know there was nobody there. So, she goes back to bed, and I told her what she said the next morning. She's like, oh, yeah, shit. I did see a guy there. And the reason I know it was sleep paralysis was I was up the whole fucking time. In fact, I was staring in that exact same direction when she said that, because I was contemplating turning on the television. So I know there was nobody there. And that was my first instance that, oh my God, she's got sleep paralysis. This is going to be fun. So second time was actually a weekend or 2 ago. We had gone to Boston for our anniversary. And so we're sleeping in bed. And she's face down. She's sleeping like that. I don't understand how people can sleep on their stomachs. It drives me fucking crazy. And same shit. I go to the bathroom. I get out. I walk over to her. Hey, hon, give her a kiss on the head, whatever. She gets up, looks to the side of the bed, and goes. Now, mind you, she's the only person I know that has sleep paralysis while she's able to move. She did more like see shit as she's waking up. I'm not sure if that's called sleep paralysis, but sometimes. Oh, no. Yeah, my bad. She does. Okay, forget everything I just said. I'm getting all floopy here. So yeah, she's laying in bed, looks to the side of the bed, gasps, and covers her eyes. And I'm like, what the fuck's the matter? She's like, it was a goblin. A goblin? And then she proceeded to describe to me, like, the next day what she saw. And she said there was literally just a goblin standing on the side of the bed next to her, looking up at her. And I'm like, as soon as she said goblin, I was like, shit. It's not over here. So that was interesting. And those were the 3 stories, but in the telling of those 3, I remembered a 4th story, which is why I thought, I'm not sure if the last 2 stories were sleep paralysis because she was not paralyzed. But this 4th one, definitely. She was in the car and she could not move. We both fell asleep in the car because she comes over and we hang out in her car. We go around the town, whatever. And this was after we came out of Monster Golf. She's just laying down, and I'm like trying to I'm trying to stay busy because I'm not tired, and I'm just like sitting next to her in the car, and something happens and her phone rings, and that wakes her up. She gets up and she's like, I couldn't move. I'm like, what do you mean you couldn't move? She's like, I couldn't move. She's like, and my hand was right next to hers the whole time. We were like that close from each other, and she's like, I was trying to move my hand to touch you to tell you to wake me up because she said she's fucking totally paralyzed, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. So that's about those are 3 stories with her and 1 with Ted. But I gotta say, like, sleep paralysis is fucking weird, man. The shit people do in their sleep, I don't fucking. And you know, like, she didn't say that she was seeing shit on that last story. She just thought it was just weird. She just couldn't move. She was asleep and could not move. Whereas Ted was seeing shadow people. So that's a little more fucked up. I'm not sure if the man standing beside our bed and the goblin were sleep paralysis because she was moving a little bit. But then again, like I said, I'm not sure if that counts. So, yes, those are my 3-4 sleep paralysis stories involving people I know, but not me, because I sleep like a fucking brick. So, yeah, that's going to do it for today. Hopefully I don't get demonetized for the shirt. I mean, there is no actual sexual content occurring on this. It's just people making faces. So, having said that, I will see you all next time. Thank you for joining us, joining me, joining us, and bye-bye. I'm going to take this shit off.